Hi guys, it is June the 15th, and I think it's been about a month since I've done a video. If I'm talking lightly, I'm sorry. I'll redo the video. Uh, Tony's asleep in the other room. Yeah, things have been going good. Uh, I can't really complain about anything. Just everyday life, and the challenges. But I want to talk about a little experience that I had just a few days ago. So there is a couple in our Monday Night Football crowd that moved over near Palmdale, and uh, they've been in our crowd probably for a couple years now, but they've been part of the community for several years. Older couple, and so I've been keeping in touch with them, updating them on our projects. They've been sending me pictures of their projects and their new home and all that stuff. And so the other day I got a response and it said, "Wow, you gals sure have been busy." And I just put my head down and then finished reading the text. And at the end, it said, "You gals take care. We miss you." And I just, you know, I I've said this before. I don't understand, probably because I haven't been in the position of how can someone sit there and look at you and then refer to you as the opposite gender. Now, in my case, I've always put it off on, well, they see me, but they remember me as before. And so that's what's in their mind. And she didn't even realize what she had said. And as many times in the past, when someone has referenced me to her or gal or she or whatever, that has been the case. They don't even realize what they said. I talked to you a few years back about the more time I spend with my mom, the more she genders me, and I brought that to her attention one time, and she didn't even realize she did it. So I've always said in my videos, things are based on how you react. I haven't responded to the text. I'm not even going to bring it up. I know, as far as the Monday Night Football crowd is concerned, that they're not around me a whole lot. And when they are, the relation is the same as it's always been. They just see me as different. And thank God they call me Ethan. And they don't mistaken my name anymore. And that's been several years that they haven't done that. But I have to remember to put myself in their place. You've been calling someone a certain name, a certain pronoun, for 30 plus years. In my mom's case, 60 years. Well, let's say 50 because I've been transitioning for 10. And it's hard. I mean, I can honestly see where even looking at me, I look male, but in their mind they're referencing me to my past, who I've always been to them, and it just, I will admit though, it is a little disappointing. It takes me a little while to just kind of process it and file it. It's just part of transition, that you can't change other people. You can't change how other people's minds work. And when you bring it to their attention, all you do, most of the time in my case, all the time usually in my case, they felt remorseful. They felt bad that they did that. I've got what we've got one friend who is probably the oldest of the group. She's in her 80s, just began her 80s, I think. And she always referenced our dogs to her. Everything, all animals are her. And our little Rex, she's always calling him her. And I'll say him, and she'll say, yeah, her. She just doesn't see what she says. And her partner told us that she referenced all animals to her. And so I just kind of laugh. She hasn't done it in a long time, but she was one of them who would say she a lot when she referenced me in a sentence or in a story or talking, you know. But yeah, it is disappointing, and that you can take that disappointment. That's yours to feel. It's not wrong to feel that way. However, I do feel it's wrong to go into someone's butt about it. Now, I'm not talking about intentional. There's a lot of mean people, inconsiderate people out there that intentionally will mispronounce a person if they know they're trans. And that's just downright wrong. And those people, you can't give them a lesson, even if you beat the crap out of them. And I wanted to say, the S word, but I don't go there. but to make it literate, what I mean is, yes, you could beat the out of them, and they still will go about their business, and you know, you'll look more like a fool to everybody of even feeding into that. They'll think you should have been the bigger person in general, and honestly, we should. Uh, I remember in the beginning, the pronouns meant so much to me, and it meant so much for people to recognize me as who I really am. Hey, here I am. This is really me, you know. Look at me. Look at the changes. This has been me all along. But yet they're not me, and they're not trans, and they don't understand that whole journey. And so they're just looking at me as like, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay. Um, you know, it's we just have to, and I'm not going to say the same be bigger people, because we swallowed a lot of things in our life, and I know that I've been screwed in relationships thinking they would work because maybe I was seen male, thought of as male, and they've you know stabbed me in the heart, used me, abused me, uh, used that against me, or used it for their own benefit. Um, but we've had to swallow a lot of lumps, and I'm not asking you to do that. But what I am asking you to do is just think about it before you react. If you're still dealing with that, if you still get upset, there's some guys I've watched that I haven't seen in years that their family still refers them as the birth name, and they've just come to a point where they've just settled and allowed their family just to, okay, so I'm Patricia when I'm around you, although I look like Patrick, you know. Um, and you got to choose your battles if you really love your family and want to be around them. Unfortunately, their love is not unconditional. They're still ran by their theories and ran by their, their belief system or whatever. And what's sad is those people, they haven't learned to tear down the walls and see the whole world for itself. Instead, they're just in this cycle. They live in this building, and they only stay in the building. They don't go outside and smell the roses and all that stuff. This world is really a beautiful place, especially when people come together out of diversity. When people come together that have been challenged, that have been oppressed, uh, the spiritualness of people coming together that have been hurt, maimed, mentally, physically. You know, to see the Spirit still believe in a better system, to believe in better people, to believe the better in people, uh, to me is so profound. It's worth more than going on the lot and buying a brand new car. For me, it's a fulfillment. It's to see humanity at its purest, to listen to people who have been struck down time after time, whether they're black, brown, white, yellow, green, blue, where they come from, how they've been taught, what their cycle is, to see them not turn their back on the very people that have turned their back on them. For me, they have a better reward waiting for them and on this earth, because I don't know what happens after death. Even growing up in religion, the only thing that religion taught me is there's lots of lies, misconceptions of stories, but it also taught me that if you want to believe in a God, regardless of how you believe, and you believe that he or she or it is all powerful, then why does that deity or God keep taking chances on man who are imperfect? Why did they create a species that was going to fail over and over and over again? And then send their son, or his son, in the reference of my growing up, to forgive the sins of man, knowing that man was going to sin again because they're imperfect. And why did they leave behind a guide, the Holy Spirit, when they know man isn't always going to listen to that inner self, or has buried it so far down it doesn't even have an inner self that knows empathy, that knows compassion, that knows how to truly love somebody. So I've come to the great deduction for me in my life. I don't worry about what happens after I die. My story growing up was always, because of my, I thought, sexual orientation at the time, was that, well, if I stand before God like it's traditionally taught, and he wants to condemn me to hell because of what you guys are saying my sexual orientation is going to do, I will look at him and say, I've loved you with all my heart. I've never turned anybody away. I have picked people up off the ground when they have fallen. I have tried to be there for everybody that has needed me in the best ways that I can. I am a kind person. I am a loving person. I am a caring person. And if that's the kind of person that has to go to hell just because I have fallen in love with the same sex, well, then I will go to hell. And that's the way I've always looked at it my whole life. It's like I've been a good person even in times when people have hurt me, stabbed me in the back, treated me like crap. I haven't gone after them, tried to get vengeance. I always used to use the scripture, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I also believe in the scripture, you reap what you sow. And I also believe in karma. And I've seen it happen over and over and over in people's lives that I've been involved with or know of. So for me, I just live the best I can. I try to be, I'm not a perfect person, believe me. I have a little temper. I get upset when I'm doing projects. I get a little short. I'm not perfect. Sometimes my idealism, sometimes my frustration for stupidity and ignorance over politics, over how people are treated that are different, that boils inside of me, and sometimes it comes out, and I don't like that because I need to always lead by example, but I'm not perfect. But one thing I can tell you that I'm not. I'm not a control freak. I don't need power. I don't need a bunch of money to make me happy. Uh, I finally feel in my life that I'm reaping what I have sown through the years. I'm happy. I'm content. I'm provided the means to have or obtain things that I feel I would like. Tony and I both are. However, I'm not somebody who needs all the toys and all the material things to make me happy. We get what we think is necessary to make our life easy or easier, and and that's what we do, and we enjoy a little comfort. So yeah, going back to the pronouns and the reactions and stuff, that was a little disappointing, and it can be, and I understand that. I just, I guess I wanted to talk about that because that is one of the most important things when we first start transitioning is for our family and friends to be on board, to call in us our name, our chosen name, and to get the pronouns right so that we're feeling, you know, like we're transitioning into ourselves. The one thing I can tell you for sure in my life, as you're looking at me on this video, is that when I look in the mirror, I don't ever regret. I'm never disappointed in myself except for when I fail to be better or, I'm not as good as I should have been in circumstances. But I'm not disappointed in me. I understand that I'm here to serve other humans. I'm not here to serve myself. And in the midst of serving other humans, I get served myself, and that's either by just the by other people, by other things that happen, and just by doing good deeds. And I don't do good deeds to get good deeds, and that's the difference too. You can't do something thinking you're going to get something in return because that's you're not doing it from the heart. Um, but I don't worry about death. In fact, I'm actually sad that my life has to end someday because I really am enjoying being a human and living on this earth, as imperfect as it is, as much as my heart breaks for this division in our country, this hate, anti this, anti that, the rhetoric, that's being said about religion and the books and education and all this controlling factors of other human beings is just really sad. And something is going to come to a head, and it's not going to be our democracy. And people, they do reap what they sow. So you may not see it in your lifetime. You may not even know about it because we don't know them personally. But all these people spewing lies and hate and discontent and escalation of violence and all that stuff, they'll reap what they sow. And see, that's my faith. Even in the days where people treated me bad and used me, abused me, um, I always had faith that what goes around comes around. And not that I looked for it, but I just knew that it wasn't for me to act upon it. I needed to move on. I needed to get away. Uh, and I needed to come out better. I needed to heal. I need to understand it wasn't my fault. They're just unhappy people. And so I think in all that, uh, that's what got me to where I am today. And I will tell you that everything I thought I was worth, I've been given. I've been rewarded. So if there's anything you can take from me on any given video, I just want you to be kind to others and try to be slow to react, and ask yourself, how can I heal? so that I am not reacting to every time someone throws my birth name out there or throws my gender, previous gender pronoun out there. Uh, Ask yourself, what can you do? Sometimes it takes just removing yourself a while from these people. You have to pick your battles. And if people are not healthy for you, no matter how much you love them, don't feel like you need to justify yourself to everybody, or even just to one person, whether it be a parent, a family member, or a friend. I felt that way for years, and I finally said, why? I'm a grown person. I make decisions of my own life. Why do I feel I need someone else approving of what I'm doing? It took me a long time as a young adult. But once I realized what I was doing, my life got a lot easier. It's not that I acted like I don't care. It's just that when they would say things, I wouldn't react. Or when I was making choices for myself, I learned not to say everything I was doing. And if asked what I was doing, I'd say this, and if they had something to say, then let them say it. But, well, yeah, but I'm still going to do it. Sometimes I had to learn a hard lesson. People give me advice because they saw things on the outside, and my heart was telling me something else, and I learned hard lessons. But it's those challenges that make us better people. It's supposed to. I know it made me a better person, and I thank God for my life, my diverse life. Some people say, why did I have to be born this way? I never said that. I always felt like we all have our challenges in life, and gender identity and sexual orientation against my childhood religion was my challenge. And it made me tear down the walls, and it made me seek out interpretations of the Bible. It made me seek out the Greek language and what actually these stories meant. And it also made me realize after time that we're being lied to all the time, whether it's about our own American history or whether it's about religion. So pick your battles. Have good people, healthy people around you. And remember, you are worthy of having a good life. The thing is, you're the one who's going to have to put one foot in front of another to either work things out, heal yourself, get better each day. It may take you a long time, but as long as you put one foot in front of the other and make very slow progress, or should I say, even if it's very slow progress, you're still making progress. And let go of the things you can't change, because you can't change other people's way of thinking about things. The only way you can is by leading by example. That means live your talk. All right, guys, you take it one day at a time. Always make your journey as simple as possible, and we'll talk to you later.